Hi everybody, it's Miss Cole again for more grammar practice and instruction. Woohoo! Today I want to talk to you about how we use apostrophes in standard English. There are two ways that they are used, in contractions and to indicate possession. I'm going to start off by talking about contractions. In standard English, contractions are where you smush multiple words together into a single word. Usually it's two, like with shouldn't for should not or should've for should have. Though it's possible to do more, like shouldn't have for should not have. Once you start attempting more than that, though, you're edging towards incomprehensible. Sometimes students think that the apostrophe marks where the words are joined together. However, this is inaccurate. The apostrophe marks where letters have been dropped. Writers also use this to indicate speaking mannerisms, such as, he's a-goin' swimmin' once he's done fixin' up that thar fence. He's is a contraction for he is, which is fairly standard. There's also an apostrophe to indicate the dropped G in going, swimming, and fixing. While onced is more often spelled O-N-C-E-T or O-N-C-T, I believe that it is a contraction of once that, used in a manner similar to now that. Likewise, ain't began as a standard contraction of am not, just like aren't for are not and isn't for is not. It started becoming common to use ain't in place of aren't and isn't and even hasn't. But once Dickens used the word in the Cockney dialect of his London characters, it quickly disappeared from standard use, probably because of the class associations. Even today, while contractions are standard rather than slang, they are considered somewhat informal. So, if you're writing in an academic or business context, it's probably a good idea to make sure that you know what is expected of your assignment, project, or document. If you're told to use formal language, then do not use contractions. And if you're an Android, you may be incapable of using them. The second way that apostrophes are used in standard English is with possessive nouns. When we show ownership using nouns, remember that a noun is a person, place, or thing. That's the other time that we use apostrophes. This is fairly simple with most singular nouns, such as Sarah's music, my desk's drawers, the knife's edge, a prince's crown, and the child's toy. The owner noun is placed before the owned noun, and the owner noun has an apostrophe S added at the end. Pretty straightforward. The thing is, it gets less so when there are multiple owners sharing the thing or things that are owned, because most nouns are made plural by putting an S at the end. So in those cases, the apostrophe is placed at the end of the word, after the S, instead of before it. Such as, my desk's drawers, the knives' edges, or the prince's crowns. In these cases, I'm discussing the drawers of two or more desks, the edges of two or more knives, and the crowns belonging to two or more princes. Proper nouns, like the name Sarah, are treated as though they are unique. While I could get away with saying that I have 4 Sarahs in the same class, it's definitely informal. It would be more standard to say that I have 4 students named Sarah in the same class. It's more common to refer to a family by pluralizing the surname. The Smith family will often be called the Smiths. So something owned by the family, such as the car or the house, would follow plural possessive rules. The Smiths' car, the Smiths' house. However, I find that this can easily cause confusion, so I prefer to just dodge the issue entirely. The Smith family's car or the Smith family's house. Since I can avoid making a proper noun plural, I don't have to worry about the plural possessive in that instance. Problem avoided. I love doing that. Some nouns, like child, are not made plural by adding an S. Any noun that does not have an S at the end, when plural, follows the rule of singular nouns for possessive. Just add apostrophe S, such as in the children's toys. Additionally, and complicating things further, there are some singular nouns that end in S, like bus and princess. And it looks a little weird to just add apostrophe S because your brain says, wait, the apostrophe goes after the S, right? But I find that it helps to think of a counterpart and then compare it. So, singular, the truck's wheels, the bus's wheels. And plural, the truck's wheels, the bus's wheels. Likewise, singular, the prince's crown, the princess's crown, and plural, the prince's crowns, the princess's crowns. Last but not least, there is the issue of proper nouns that already end in S in the singular. There are several male names, James, Charles, Nicholas, and some female names like Doris and Iris that do this. Also, it is particularly an issue with names of men in Greek and Latin, Odysseus and Achilles, or Brutus and Cassius, for example. For modern names, standard use is clear. Just add apostrophe S, as you would with any other singular noun. James's work, Charles's work, Nicholas's work, Doris's work, or Iris's work. But it gets trickier with ancient names, because some style guides say that you should keep doing the same thing. Odysseus's beliefs, Achilles's beliefs, Brutus's beliefs, Cassius's beliefs. Others, however, say that you should just add the apostrophe. I am in the apostrophe S camp because I find it more consistent. I like consistency. Standard English grammar is complicated enough without adding more exceptions. Fun fact, did you know that the Brutus in Shakespeare's play, The Tragedy of Julius Caesar, was the descendant of another man also named Brutus, and that both of them fought to preserve the Roman Republic? Apparently, they shared similar beliefs. With that in mind, I beg you, I entreat you, I implore you, please, in any essay that you submit, do not refer to the beliefs that they share as the Brutus says values. How could you even think of doing such a thing? What kind of monster would do that? I'm sorry, I need a minute. It's okay. I'm okay. It's okay. I'm okay. So, I also want to talk about when not to use apostrophes. There are two common cases in which people are tempted to use apostrophes that are not correct in standard English. First, with possessive pronouns. These particular types of pronouns, like his, yours, or theirs, they don't need apostrophes because they're already possessive. In my students' work, I see this most often in pronouns that have multiple forms. That is your pencil. That pencil is yours. Don't do that. Would you put an apostrophe in his? No? Didn't think so. Then don't do it for yours, hers, ours, its, theirs, or whose either. Do remember that its can refer either to the possessive pronoun, which doesn't take an apostrophe, or to the contraction, which does. That book is missing its cover. It's not in good shape. Just remember that it apostrophe S always means it is. Additionally, this refers to possessive pronouns. Subject pronouns like I, you, he, she, it, we, and they can all be used in contractions. I'm for I am, you're for you are, he's for he is, she'd for she had or she would, it'll for it will, we're for we are, they've for they have, and so on. Indefinite pronouns, like nobody or anyone, are also not possessive, but they can be made possessive. Whose coffee cup is this? But, is this anyone's coffee cup? Plural nouns. Don't use apostrophes to make nouns plural. Sometimes I'll see something like this. There are 20 books on that shelf. No. Please don't do that. Ever. Don't do it. I'm breathing. In and out. I'm okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I feel like the reason that this happens is that students see the S and associate it with an apostrophe because they've often seen it with possessive nouns. And what really gets under my skin is that according to some style guides, there are exceptions. Only 4 students got A's in Mrs. Cole's class. Her phone number has 2 7s in it. Because some style manuals say this is acceptable, I would suggest that you check with your instructor, or better yet, find a way to work around the situation. Only 4 students in Ms. Cole's class earned an A. Her phone number has 2 7s in it. Finally, what makes this especially tricky is the use of contractions, such as The baby boom that occurred after World War II continued into the early 50s. In this sentence, the apostrophe does not go before the S, which is used to show that it's discussing multiple years. Instead, it goes before 50 to show that the 19 has been left out. This is a less common contraction, but it's still a contraction. You can see a similar one in the first line of a famous poem. "'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house." In this example, "'twas" is a contraction for "it was." The apostrophe shows where the missing I had been. Whew. So, to review, do you use apostrophes for contractions? Do you use apostrophes for possessive nouns? Do not use apostrophes for possessive pronouns. Do not use apostrophes to make words plural. That is, hopefully, everything that you need to know about apostrophes. Did I miss anything? Maybe. Let me know in the comments. Bye for now, everybody.